What it do? Two Beards, One League coming at you again for a, I guess just an off cycle podcast here. We're getting more regular, but
yeah,
we have some news and some information to get through to everyone. So we figured, hey, we might as well get together, go over all the new stuff that's happening, and then talk to you guys about, keepers and go over all that fun stuff. So, Joe, how are you today, buddy?
Good. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing all right. It's Friday. Means nothing to me right now, but you know what? It's Friday.
Yeah. Always a good thing.
So, thanks for joining me as always. Love getting together and filming these real quick. I will say our last episode, I think everyone watched it. I had more comments on that video than I think we've ever had on a video. Which is good, right? It means people are enjoying the podcast.
Well, yeah, because that's how they get their news and stuff. So, I will be honest, I don't watch it because I don't like watching myself, but I'm the one doing this with you. So why would I watch it? I'm like,
why would you watch? I end up watching myself because then Sarah goes and watches it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, look, I'm watching it myself.
Yeah.
There's other people watching this though, because we end up with 12 to 13 views, and so I'm like, okay, so
I think Jen. I probably should tell Jen, that we're doing it again. So maybe she is. I'll ask her. Whoever's
watching it, and you're not in the league, I appreciate you. For the people in the league, we appreciate you. This is fun. We're just trying to have a good time.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's get into it. So, new member. But is it really a new member? It's a new old member, right?
Yeah.
Tyler's back. Glad to have him back. However, Tyler really just took over for Ryan, who took over for Tyler. So it's just been like a weird transition.
So you had a family member take over for another family member, and that family member ended up taking back over from that other family member.
Right. So, Tyler, love having you back. Congratulations. We're glad you can come back. Ryan, thank you for being here. If you're watching, fantastic. If not, that's cool too. But thanks for joining for the little bit. I know you're becoming a firefighter, and he did text me that after this whole thing's done, he'd love to come back. So
love Ryan.
We'll always have a spot for you, or we'll keep you in mind when a spot comes available. But Sarah's saying no, so she's sitting there saying Ryan can't come, and I think it purely is so she doesn't lose her spot. Keep saying
he can do what Mike and I do. He can co-manage with Tyler since they pretty much run the team together now anyway. So
there you go. Maybe we'll just go to 12 teams. There we go. We'll just do that. All right. So just wanted to say, Tyler, welcome back. I know you've been away for a little bit doing your work and all that fun stuff. So you said football's not in the forefront. Start getting into it so you're not in dead last and you don't have to do all the punishment stuff. So fair warning, right?
We did research last year and we came in last. So, what does that say?
Fantasy football is a little bit about luck and a little bit about skill. All right. Draft day. So I just wanted to go over this again because Tyler's joining. He did say he watched the old video, which is fantastic.
Sweet.
But might as well just go over this one more time. And then you and I talked about something that does need to change a little bit. So draft day, September 7th. Draft is starting at 1. Mike and Joe did come in last, so they are going to be over probably between 11:30 and 12 o'clock, and then we'll go and get pizza. Again, they are going to be doing their loser punishment, in their shirt, which we're going to reveal after this at that time. So we always talk about being there for the punishments, and that's part of the whole point of this, right? So I'm asking if you can make it, come, enjoy this. Let's have fun. It's nothing terrible, but it is a little fun banter. It's just fun. You can meet us at the Dion's if you would like to do that, and I'll give you guys all the address outside of that. So September 7th, drafts at 1. We're going to be meeting at my house between 11:30 and 12. But the thing Joe and I realized is the last episode I had mentioned that keepers needed to be submitted August 28th. We're going to revert that just a little bit. So we're going to do August 31st. And the reason we are doing that is August 28th and 29th, there are still football games being played. Now they are the third preseason game, so there's a likelihood that nothing will happen. But let's rather be safe than sorry. So we're going to say August 31st, which is the Monday before. So the week before the draft, we're asking you to submit your keepers. So, please get those in and we'll go over everything. But that's the whole reason we're making the switch, purely because there's still games.
Yep.
Do you have anything to add to that, Joe?
No, it's just, it's good that we're doing it that day because, realistically, the starters shouldn't be playing, but you never know on the off chance, like they're in one drive and something happens. We've had that happen before. Like Tyler has had that happen before to where he had his keeper in and they got hurt. And, we had to make some arrangements to make him select someone else as a keeper. So it can happen. So for us, it's just to be better safe than sorry.
Yeah. And so I do try to let everybody know if you submit your keeper, like that's your keeper. And once it's in, it's in. So if you want to text me and you're not sure, you can always text me privately, but I'm asking you guys to submit your keepers into the group chat so that everybody's aware, and then we'll make the video on it. But I'm asking that if you're questioning it or you're thinking about it and you're like, hey, this is who I'm thinking about keeping, and if I don't get to you, that's who my keeper is, you can send it to me privately and then I'll ask you to confirm. I've done that a few times in the past. Jacob last year, I think, was out of town. And so I just sent him a quick reminder. I understand life gets busy. I'm not asking you guys to remember everything. I'm just asking, take that one thing. Sure. All right. That's all I got there. Let's get into this. So next thing is I sent Joe this picture. Joe hasn't seen it yet. I am going to pull it up on the screen. So this is our loser shirt is being revealed. Now, before I say anything, Aaron designed this. Aaron kind of told me exactly what he was thinking. I love what he put on the shirt. I think it's hilarious. I just ordered it and finally got it. So you're going to see Emery and Sarah are in this shirt.
It's a terrible picture.
Sarah hates the picture because it looks terrible, but
it does.
Nobody's looking at you. We're all looking at the shirt.
Is it up here?
Yeah. Go ahead. So, as you can see, Joe, when you look at this picture, this shirt is a connecting shirt. It says, "We promise we have wives. We can't
it's
promise
one shirt. Okay.
It's one shirt with 2 holes for the heads and 2 arm sleeves. You guys, I do not expect you to have to wear this the whole draft.
Yeah, you do.
But I do expect this to be we go in, we order.
Oh, well, we're definitely, you know me. I'm like, at the end of the day, it's fun. So like, if you come in last, it is what it is. It's not like we're getting a tattoo or anything like that. Like, I am totally fine with wearing this into Dion's. It is perfectly fine. It's hilarious.
And then same thing. Like, hey, when everybody comes in, just if they didn't make it to Dion's, just have the shirt on. But I wanted everybody to see it. It's a fun shirt. It is sewn together, so it is 2 colors of 2 shirts sewn together. You guys will be very, very close. Aaron, I love the idea. I love what he put on there. I thought it was
awesome.
Funny. It was great. He killed it. So I ordered this, I think, oh my gosh, it's been a minute. I think I ordered it in March or April.
Oh, geez.
And so we finally got it. And here's the shirt, but it is fun. It is one shirt. I really love how it came out. I think it's hilarious. It was a one size fit all. So I don't know. It might be huge. You can see like Emery's got its own room, and so does Sarah. So.
And like Mike has to come down to my level then.
Yeah. The height difference between you and Mike is probably about the same height differences between Sarah and Emery. So.
Well, when I saw the picture, I was like, I'm wondering if that's like Emery's supposed to be like my size, and then Sarah's like Mike, because I know Emmy's a little shorter right now, but
shorter, no, it's fun. Aaron, I love the idea. I think that's the way we're heading. I think I'll let the champ pick the shirt or whatever they want it to be, and I'll figure out how to execute it. So,
sweet. We'll come up with an idea for next year.
Yeah, exactly. I'm thinking about how I can get you guys in another shirt. No, I love it. I love where we're heading. I love that the champ gets a little extra bonus for winning.
Yeah.
So I wanted to show that to you guys. I wanted to kind of show everybody the shirt. Hopefully it entices people to come to the event. And we're going for there. Sarah really does not like that picture of herself. All I'm hearing in the background is, can you?
Why? It's just it's a daughter and mother bonding.
Yeah, having fun.
Yeah. Like with Mike and I, it'll be even though he's not my brother, we consider each other brothers. It'll be a bro moment.
It'll be a bro moment. All right. So I haven't talked to you about this, and I'm not even sure if this is a good idea. So I'm kind of floating it to you, but I wanted the whole group to kind of see how my thought process works because I'm weird. Playoff changes. So as it stands right now, 60% of the league makes the playoffs. Okay. So 6 of the 10 teams. While that's fine. If we were at 12, I don't think that would be a problem. But I was thinking, and I don't have this fully thought out, so it's kind of like I'm going to shoot it to you.
Okay.
What if we went down to 5 teams made the playoffs and only the 1 seed got a bye? So 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? There's no 6th seed. 1 gets a bye, but everybody else has to play. Now, again, I don't know if that's a good idea, right? Because it's kind of nice to have if you're the 2 seed, like to still have the bye. But it gives you more benefit for getting the 1 seed. So for having the best season, the best record all year. And then the only thing it really changes is 6 doesn't sneak in, which I have benefited from that. And I went through the leagues in our years past. We have had a 6 seed win 1 time.
Yeah.
But other than that, most of the time it's the 1 or the 2 seed. And there have been moments where the 1 or the 2 seed, I think it's like 3 or 4 times, would have actually lost in week 1.
I see.
And while I don't know if you should be punished if you did good all season that you have to play, it's just a thought to kind of throw out. I don't really want to vote on this season. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure it's a good idea, but 50% of the league making the playoffs seems reasonable.
Okay.
Where 60% just seems like, okay, if you really suck, you suck, but does it make people want to play at the bottom? We could always say the 6 seed doesn't have to play in the loser bracket. Like the benefit of we get rid of this, but the 6 seed doesn't come in dead last, whatever we want.
Yeah, I get that.
But I wanted to throw it out there and, get your opinion on it. Like first hearing it, what are you thinking?
So I can see the pros and the cons of it. So I'll go with the cons. The cons of it is obviously there'd be 5 teams. Just from being in the league in the last few years, there's always a fight for the last seed, and people do my whole thing would be not to deter people oh, well, I don't have a shot at making a top 5, but why would I want to try for the last week? Whereas when we have 6 spots, and the last few years have shown this,
you're right. The last week where there's usually 3 or 4 teams fighting for that last spot.
It's usually 5, not us, but 5 through 9 or 5 through 8 are fighting for that last spot. And 5, and usually it's because whoever's in the 5 seed is fighting to stay in the 5 seed to not drop to the 6th. And then the last 3, 4 teams are fighting just for that 1 spot.
Yeah, you're right. I think 2 years ago, I think the year Aaron ended in last, I think he had a chance to get in
a chance
the
to make
6th seed. Yeah, you're right. So
that'd be the only con of it. The I guess the pro, I guess you could say, is yes, whoever it would, the top of the list, the opposite effect, whoever's been doing the best out of the all season, they earn the right to have a bye week. Whereas the second team, usually it depends too, because usually the top 2 teams are fighting for the 1st seed anyway. So
yeah,
I could see more of an incentive for that to keep that going. So I don't know. I'd have to think about it a little bit more. But I like the idea, but I don't know if it's something that.
Right, and obviously, if we went to we mentioned 12 teams, we did 12 teams. I would say,
it'd be different.
12 teams, you do 50% of the league, right? That's my thought process. Is half the league makes the playoffs, but we're doing it where more than half. I mean, when the league first started, 40% of the teams made the playoffs. We only had 4 playoffs.
Yeah, the top 4. Yeah.
Which meant you had an extra week of games, but
yeah.
So I had seen it somewhere and I thought, you know what? I don't hate the idea. I don't know if I love it, but I don't hate it.
It's always something. That's why. Oh, go ahead.
No, I my biggest thing is I'm always trying to figure out if we can improve the league. I don't want to stay stagnant.
Yeah, and I think it's not a terrible or bad idea to throw it out there. That's why we have these kind of conversations, and you throw these things out to the group to see to get feedback from them to see if it's something they would be interested in, like how we always do every year before the draft, like new ideas if you're going to do more positions or whatever the case, change the rules, whatever. Like I like those kind of ideas so we can have those discussions as a group so we can keep the league fun, because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, is us having fun and not wanting to keep it boring and stuff like that, because it does get stagnant after a while if it's just the same thing.
For sure.
I know for you and I, because we do so many leagues, but so we want to change it up.
Well, but we have found some great ideas through those other leagues.
Yeah.
So, all right, I just throwing it out there, right? Now,
let's see what the comments say.
Yeah, let's get into why we actually here keeper projections. Now, Joe and I are going to kind of banter back and forth on this one. He has his list, I have my list. His list is a little more extensive, but I think we both have. There's going to be overlap, and that's probably where we all lie. Joe and I were talking about why we would do this show, and the exact reason was every single person in this league takes it seriously, and I understand that. Every single one of you, and I know this for a fact, is trying to figure out who everybody else is keeping, right? So why not go over it in this podcast that we have for our league and go over all of the things that you guys are all probably doing. As the commissioner, I understand we have a bunch of little obscure rules that you're not going to see on Yahoo that you might not know.
Yep.
So I wanted to do that. And that was the whole point of this. The other thing is, and it was honestly, I got to give props to Robert and a little bit to Tyler. Robert had made the comment. He's like, where's the show where I figure out who I'm keeping? Right. And so we did that at the end of last season. It was fun. But now we're closer. Why not do it again? It's good to bounce off of each other, right? Who am I thinking, who you're thinking, that kind of stuff. It gives the league a little insight. And the whole point of this is to have fun. I'm not trying to, I want to beat every single person in this league because I appreciate you in some way, shape, or form. But I also don't want to, I'm never going to be the person who hides everything from everyone, right?
I mean, you're not 100% wrong, because that's exactly what Mike and I have been doing the last 2 weeks since we started doing rankings and all that stuff and draft stuff. It's like this is the most important league for me.
Me too.
This is first, second to the other important leagues, but that's the first thing I'm always thinking about is who is everyone else keeping? Because Mike and I will sit there for hours and just talk about realistically, this is who so and so should keep, or this is probably who they're going to keep, and we're pretty spot on a good amount of the time anyway.
So I do Sleeper. I don't know if you do it, but on Sleeper, you can add in all of our league rules and do mock drafts against no one. So I do that. And then I add our keepers in and I go, this is who I'm projecting. And then I move it around according to that stuff. And it gives me, it's not great because it's using Sleeper's values, not necessarily like how our league drafts. So there's times where I'm like, I know that player's not going to fall to me or whatever, but it gives me an idea of okay, this is what my draft needs to look like. So, I'm giving everybody a little peek behind the curtain here. I do that from time to time. Before we get into that, I did create an AI picture. I did send it to you. I wanted to just show it real quick. So I do this year. I'm hoping I can get a group picture like we've done, because I've been using the same group picture that we took at the end of last year. I'm also hoping to get I don't necessarily am asking everyone to pose, but if I can just get pictures of everyone individually so I can create more realistic AI photos. I don't have Tyler. I don't have Jacob, because obviously Jacob he was out of town in Chicago last year, and Tyler's coming back. So they're not in this photo, and Ryan wasn't in this photo. So, it is what it is. But I put together, I put it into ChatGPT. I had it print out this picture. I do love these pictures because you can tell for the most part who everyone is. I know I always love that you're in the front with your Jeff shirt, by the way. It just makes me laugh.
My Jeff shirt, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm you for this year. Trust me.
Cool. So, again, I just do this so everybody can see it. It's fun. I love it. I think it's just a fun little thing. So that is my goal. I'm just putting it out there because draft day comes and there's so many things for me going on. Everybody, if I put it out in the universe, somebody usually helps me. Usually it's my wife, but I know you'll help and all that other fun stuff.
Yep, for sure.
Okay, keeper projections. So before we get into too much of it, I was going to start with me, but I wanted to start with me for one reason and one reason only. You and I had talked right before the podcast.
Yep.
I went through my team and saw that I had Luther Burden in the 12th. Obviously, Luther Burden ended on my team.
Yep.
And you had even brought up that, oh, Luther Burden in the 12th is a great keeper for you.
Mhm.
I dropped Luther Burden I don't remember. I think I dropped him like 3 times, honestly. Like I dropped him a lot. Okay. So this is an important little stignit, or, a little rule that needs to be addressed. The rule is if a player is dropped, they revert to a 6th round pick unless they are drafted higher than a 6th round. So they revert to their highest possible value. So while Luther Burden was drafted in the 6th round or 12th round, and I'm the one who drafted him, and he ended on my team, he is still only available to be kept for a 6th round pick. This rule exists so that if a player who is injured, Jonathan Taylor 3 years ago or 2 years ago, whenever he got hurt, who was a 1st round pick, and then he is dropped because he's not coming back, cannot be picked up by another team and then kept for a 6th round pick. So it will revert to its highest value ever in that year. So if he was drafted in the 2nd and he's dropped, he's still a 2nd round value. However, if he was a 12th round pick and dropped, he reverts to a 6th because he reverts to a free agent. I know that's an obscure rule and it has existed for a long time, and we can always have the conversation, but I do feel like that is a fair rule that keeps keepers from being kept for too long.
Yep.
And it also makes it so that you don't have to keep players on your roster, so you're not protecting for next year, right? I don't want people to be like, I can't drop Jonathan Taylor or X, Y, or Z because I don't want someone in our league to be able to keep him for a 6th round pick.
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to, let's go ahead and go in order of the draft. So Brandon's first. I'm going to let you take the first swing here. And because you guys are the 2nd pick, I'll start on your team and that should be even.
Sure.
So go ahead and start us off with Brandon and I'll give you my choices of who I think after.
Yeah, sure. So I know you did kind of 2 players per roster or whatever. I kind of went with 3 just because I wasn't really sure. I can go with 2, but I'll give 3. Honestly, Brandon's 3rd choice in my opinion, is always homer picker. So anyway, first
You didn't
one
have
I think.
Mahomes.
Oh no, you'll know who it is once I say it, and it'll ring in. So first one is Ladd McConkey. That's one of them because he kept him last year. He loves Ladd. Brandon's creature of habit. He loves once he picks someone and he loves them, he likes to usually consistently keep them. So Ladd McConkey, I believe it'll be 7th round this year.
Yep.
So it's still good value. One of his favorite players. So I think it's one of them. The other one, which somebody was goofy enough to trade him last year, but I know
every trade I make with Brandon, it's going to be bad for me. Like we've learned this.
It was bad. Well, it was good for him for those few weeks, and then he kind of fell off. But I do think he gets back on track. So Emeka Egbuka is the other one. Great value where he has him. So I believe that is also a 7th round. I think we'll have to figure
it's a 7th round as well. But I mean, you can't keep both. So
yeah. So great value there. I think he keeps one of those 2. If not, if he goes with his homer pick, which is DeAndre Swift. Like every year he has DeAndre Swift. So at some point he should just keep him instead of just drafting him. So
DeAndre Swift is about the same value drafted, right? I think he's a 5th round pick. So I was like,
I mean, I know he has the 1st overall pick, and I know Mike and I have been kind of poking fun of him. He should just keep Bijan just because he's going to take Bijan anyway. So,
so just same page. I had it reverse. I understand your logic of thinking Ladd. I put Emeka. Both are great values. I know he was frustrated with Ladd McConkey because he felt like he wasn't doing anything last year.
Yeah.
So I think he keeps Emeka, but I also had Ladd McConkey 7th round pick. They're in my rankings back to back.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's picking the wrong one.
No, not at all.
Right now with Emeka being hurt,
yeah.
I'd lean Ladd, but what I've heard is it's not serious. So we'll see. But I do agree. It's going to be one of those 2. I had it as Emeka, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was Ladd either. No, nothing really changes.
Yeah. For me, so others can understand how my way of thinking is. So when I went based off of how I think that person would pick their keeper. So I know how Brandon works and how his draft strategy is and all that stuff. So that's why I went with Ladd over Emeka Egbuka. So
No, that's perfect. And that was my thought process too, which is why I said Emeka, because I know how sick and tired he was of Vlad McConkey last year.
Yeah. It's always a new year, so you can't be sick of him this year.
Yeah. All right. So next in order is you and Mike. So for me, what I had down for you guys is Breece Hall in the 6th, because now, not that your team was bad, you just didn't have most of your players are at value.
Yep.
So I was looking, because I know you guys are more about keeping value than necessarily just keeping a player.
Yep.
So I looked for players that I could find that I thought had value. So I had Breece Hall in the 6th because he's going in the 4th round, maybe late 3rd, but right in that, there's some value, right? Not a lot of meat on the bone. There's some meat on the bone. And then the other player I had for you guys was Drake Maye in the 6th. Drake Maye right now, consensus 3rd quarterback on the board. Because you guys are picking in the 1st round or the 2nd overall pick, it would be the end of the 6th round when you got to keep them. So you'd pretty much have back-to-back picks, right? Like you'd have your keeper, Brandon go twice, then you'd have another pick.
Yep.
So those were the 2 players I went with. If I had to lean, I'd say Drake Maye, and this is purely because you're a Patriots fan.
Yeah.
It also gives you a little bit of leeway in however else you want to go. But the rest of your team was it was pretty chalk. I didn't see value, which I know is what you guys are kind of all about.
Yeah, because we kind of traded the value away, like once we weren't winning games and things like that. Because as you kind of nailed on the head, like Mike and I really go for value, like in the later rounds, like rookies and players that are not being taken at the normal ADP spots. So like we always try to go for value, best case scenario, just to see, because you never know. You might hit and you might miss. So, but yeah, going back to what you're saying, that's kind of who we have. We have Breece Hall, Drake Maye, and then honestly, I threw Derrick Henry on there just because Mike and I love Derrick Henry. And if we wanted to go have a top end running back, like I don't think he'd fall to us, especially with all the other keepers. So like if we wanted to have a good running back. I get what you're saying.
Like if you're taking Jameer or Bijan right there, you're guaranteed Derrick Henry in the 2nd round, which he's not going to fall to you. But same thing. I didn't put him down, but I can understand that thought process, keeping a player because you won't be able to get him again.
For sure. Even though it's Drake Maye, but yeah. Because the Patriots fan.
So. Well, I don't hate the Drake Maye, especially in a 6-point passing touchdown league like we are in.
Well, that and then we don't have to worry about quarterback at all.
So. Right. Yeah. And then I did it for years, right? I kept Patrick Mahomes forever. And I would just draft Kelsey or Tyreek Hill almost every year. And consistently it gives you an advantage because you're not guessing if you're going to get a certain quarterback, and you can do the stack, which I'm a big fan of the stack.
Same.
Not everyone is, but I know you are. So, all right. 3rd overall is Tyler. So this is an important one because Tyler, he's a little unsure of who we should go with. So I'm going to let you go ahead and lead us off here, but
sure. So I know because Tyler was taking over for Ryan. So one of the most random drafts that Ryan had last year, but his last pick I really, really loved. And I'm like, I wouldn't have even thought of doing that, even though it's like your 2nd or was 3rd quarterback at the time.
His 3rd quarterback at the time. Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about. Yeah.
Justin Herbert, which I am a huge fan of. I love Herbie. Great value at the end of the draft. You have a top 10 quarterback and you don't even need to worry about, you have 17th round pick for your quarterback. And then the rest of the picks, you build your team around that.
Well, and then we're expanding to 20 rounds this year, right? So he has that pick, which like you said, starting quarterback, and then 3 rounds left. You can just take your IDP players. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
sorry, cut you off.
No, it's okay. Oh, I think that's the best value that Tyler has. I'm not a fan of the player, but I know where he's going in rankings right now. Rashee Rice, I believe he's a 6th round, and I believe he's like ADP is like 3rd or 4th round. Like he's going super high. So
he's in the 20s. Like last time I checked, he was like 23 on Yahoo and ESPN. He was at the 23. So like that's early 3rd.
So I mean, it's a good 3-round value. And I mean, again, I'm not a fan of the player, but if he can perform to how he was performing, I mean, he's a PPR monster and just everything else with that offense. So, and then my last one, I just kind of was just looking at different players in different rounds. I don't really know where this player falls in terms of rankings, but I saw J.K. Dobbins. I know it's running back by committee in Denver right now, but I'm like, when he was playing, he was putting up numbers. So
Yeah, so again, I only did 2. I had Justin Herbert in the 17th round is just, I felt like that was an automatic keeper. I like now as a Dolphins fan, I know I'm not supposed to like Mike McDaniel, but from a different perspective, he made my team relevant for a few years, which we haven't been relevant in a long time. So I always have a little bit of respect for him.
yeah,
But offensively, the man is a genius. You can't,
yes,
he did some amazing stuff. So I do like Justin Herbert a lot this year. Because of Dolphin Twitter, I do see them kind of cracking jokes at Mike McDaniel. And then I watch a play from the Chargers because, they've shown up on my timeline a little bit and they'll do something crazy. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. So I do agree. I think that's the best value. When this was Ryan, I had Rashee Rice penciled in. It was like, I felt like it was just, that was what was happening. I think Tyler should keep Justin Herbert, but he should do whatever makes him happy, right?
Yep.
But I agree. Those are the 2 players I had as well. So.
Yep. Yeah, just to be clear, this is just our opinions. It doesn't mean we're right or wrong. It's whatever you guys want in the end. So
Ray had a pick a few years ago, like obviously when Ray was still in the league. He had a keeper, and I was like, you had that dude where? And I didn't realize it. And I was like, you're keeping – it was a tight end. I can't remember the tight end. I wish I could tell you. You kept him in the 11th round. And I was like, you had such better value somewhere else. And tight end went off. And I was like, damn, you know what? Sometimes you might know something or have a feeling about someone that I just am not aware of.
Yep.
All right. So I'll go next. Robert is 4. So I actually had a little bit of trouble with Robert. Robert traded a lot of his team. So it was a lot of like figuring out where each player was drafted. But the little bit I do know about Robert, I do know he's a Cowboys fan. And so when I looked through his team, he had Javonte Williams in the 9th round, which if we're being 100% honest, Javonte is a guaranteed running back 2. Yep. Dude is going to be legit. You're keeping him, if in my opinion, in the 9th, for a player who's going to go in the 3rd, mid to late 3rd, maybe early 4th. I felt like that was the best value. That's who I had down. The other, I did put down one more. I put down Zay Flowers in the 6th. Not a ton of value. Zay Flowers has been going about the 4th, maybe the 3rd. But I was just putting down 2. I thought Javonte was the clear. It just cleared in my mind, right? Like you get to keep a player from your team who's great value, and you get to keep him late. Like it just made sense to me. So, what about you?
So we are on the same page for one player, which was Javonte. I forgot that he was a Cowboys fan, so that had no bearing on this. But
just the value, right?
Just the value. Well, that, and then looking at his team, I'm like, I actually have 2 Cowboys on here. So I think this one is correct. I'm pretty sure he drafted Jake Ferguson, but that was my other one.
He did, yes.
In the 16th round, and Jake Ferguson is like a top 10
tight end, yeah.
So I'm like, great value there. You don't have to worry about your tight end. So I had those 2. And then for me, I don't remember if he drafted these players as well, but I had Tet McMillan, I think in the 5th, and then Rome also in the 5th. I don't know if he did trades or not, or if he picked them up. So.
Rome was, I think, somebody he drafted, and Tet was a trade he made with JJ.
So I thought those are good values right there. But I thought, like, I do mine in ranking, so I would have put Ferguson, Williams, and then the 2 receivers. So
yeah, Ferguson I thought was a good value as well. I just thought running back feels like it's a little more expensive this year.
Yes.
Compared to years past, where even though we're starting 3 wide receivers, feels like running backs are falling out faster. Nobody's really running hero RB, and I haven't seen any 0 RBs in the mocks and stuff I've been doing. So that's why I went running back, just because it felt that way. That doesn't necessarily mean it's true. It's just what I see right now.
Well, yeah, and then going off what you're saying too, like with Dallas, like he's the main running back. Whereas like if you take a team like my team, like you don't know, it's going to be Stevenson, even though Henderson is a better back. Like they're going to rotate between the 2 of them. And same thing with like Chicago. Like you have to look at the backfields, and like Javonte Williams is kind of on his own. So
right,
like
Jaden Blue might get a few carries, but he's not going to get enough to
not as much.
Javonte looked fantastic last season too.
He did.
One of the biggest reasons Robert made such a deep run was his value. Like, not often do you get a player in the 9th round that actually contributes to your team, and he did. So
100%.
All right. So next up is Terrence. So I'm going to let you start us off on this one because I feel like you and I are on the same page, but I kind of wanted to get your opinion on it.
Yeah. Let me pull his up. So yeah, for him, I have 2. Really 1, but I thought Jared Goff in the 11th. I'm good value. I know Terrence's team was hard, so because I think he can't forget who else he had on his roster, but I thought like value wise, like that was the best value. Like if you want to go with like a quarterback, because again, 6 points in the league now, so I'm like that does make a big difference now. Even though I know Jared Goff doesn't really run that much, but I thought that was the best value. And then the other one is a homer pick, which though is the one that he probably will go with is Devon Achane. So because that's his boy, and you gotta love his Dolphins. So I get it.
So Devon Achane in the first, just so we're clear. Different actually on our second pick. That's awesome. We've been pretty in unison here, so I'm actually kind of happy. So I had Achane in the first as well. For 2 reasons. I know if he doesn't keep Achane, he can draft him in the first, right? Like, but I also know if you knowing Terrence, and there's nothing wrong with this, he wants to root for a player on his team.
Yep.
That's not the Dolphins aren't gonna have a lot of fantasy relevance this year. Right, it's Devon Achane, and that's pretty much it. And you can take some shots on their rookie wide receivers and their tight end, but you're probably not starting them week to week, and you probably don't want to. Yep. So I was like, okay, and knowing who drafts behind him, like Sarah is 100% in on Achane if Terrence doesn't take him. Right, like it's if you don't take him, she's taking him. Yeah, like and so like I know Sarah's probably gonna be mad I said that, but she's made it very clear. She's like, I'm taking Achane if he's there.
Well, you 3-year-old Dolphins fan, so it should be pretty obvious. It's like, well, if you're not going to take him, why wouldn't you? That's dumb. I'm going to take him.
Right. So I had that in my mind. And then my thought process was, okay, well, the other option is AJ Brown in the second.
Yeah.
And you take AJ Brown in the second, which is kind of stat value, right? Like I'm not getting value. 100%. I'm not getting value. That's probably where he's going to go. But then I can still take Achane in the first. So I guarantee AJ Brown. The only question I had on that one was AJ Brown's now a Patriot. And is Terrence going to draft a Patriot? I went through his teams and I can't find Patriots on his team. So I don't know. Like that's the one thing. Like I know Terrence pretty well. I know he's going to take Dolphins, but I don't know his hatred of the other teams.
It's hard to take cheaters. I get it. It's fine. I do it. I'll do it.
I do love the Jared Goff pick. That's a great call. I didn't catch that one. So, and that's why we do this, right? I think he goes Achane, but I don't hate Jared Goff. I think that's actually a better pick than AJ Brown in second. I think yours makes more sense.
Yeah, because I'm like, if you look at it, I'm like, I know Jared Goff is like outside of the top 10, I believe. But like, if you look at what he did last year, like him, like quarterbacks like him, Stafford, like, they were throwing top 5 numbers last year. So I'm like,
well, and then they got a new offensive coordinator.
Yep.
They still have Jameson Williams. They still have Jahmyr Gibbs. They still have Amon-Ra. They still have Sam Laporta. Like, I'll never blame someone. The whole reason we went to 6-point passing touchdowns is so quarterbacks like Jared Goff would have value.
Yep.
All right. Next is Sarah. So I'll go ahead and take the lead on this one.
Yep.
I do have a little bit of intel, so it's a little harder. I do know that Sarah is stuck between 2 players, so I'm just going to give the 2 players that she's having a hard time between, and she'll go from there. She's stuck between Colston Loveland in the 6th.
Mm-hmm.
She hates tight end this year. She wants to have a good one, and so for her, having a top 3 tight end in the 6th feels like good value. And then the other person she's debating is Olave in the 8th.
Mm-hmm.
So I know it's going to come down to one of those 2. I don't know which way she's leaning because yesterday it was Olave and today it's Colston Loveland. Like it's literally, she's been doing her mock draft. She's doing all her stuff. She'll probably figure it out on Monday, the 31st. She'll just be like, I'm keeping this player and that'll be it.
Yeah. Before she has to submit. Yeah.
So I don't hate either of the picks. I actually understand exactly where she's coming from. I understand Colston Loveland. If you're believing that what he did in the playoffs is going to carry over into this season, I 100% understand that. And Olave had an amazing season. And with Tyson going down in training camp, which means as a rookie, it's not that he's going to be gone for long, and I don't think he is, but it is going to delay how much work he takes away and when he gets up to speed. So I get both of them. What about you? Did you have 2 or 3?
I have 3.
Okay.
I do have 2. It's nice to know that the mic that I have in your house hidden works. So I'm just kidding. I thought the exact same 2 players, Colston Loveland and Chris Olave. I had Olave over Colston Loveland just because of the receiver value, and because I think Chris Olave is going to have a great year, second year with Tyler Shuck. Like, I think the Saints are going to surprise some people. But then, yes, so Colston Loveland, I do think like the Bears kind of have a good offense this year. Apparently they want to have the most scoring points this year. So we'll see if that stays true. The third player was a homer pick. It was Jalen Waddle. I know he's not on your team anymore, but I know you guys love Waddle. So that was really just because I know you guys loved him. So
I think if Jalen Waddle was still on the Dolphins, I feel like that was probably a guarantee.
Probably, yeah.
But with him being gone, I think she wants to continue to be in the playoffs, and so I'm not going to worry about it. Like, she made it clear. I love Waddle. Waddle is one of my all-time favorite Dolphin receivers I've gotten to watch in person. It's him and Jarvis Landry. But I'm not gonna sabotage my fantasy season. I think Sarah understands that now too.
Yeah, she's come a long way. I'm real happy that how much she's improved.
All right, I'll let you go on this next one. It is for me, and then I'll chime in like I did for you.
For you, let's see. So, I was like you. I thought Luther Burden was great value, but now that we know that you dropped him and all that stuff, 6th round pick.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about the hype, but he's hurt right now, so I wouldn't really go with that. I do know tight end is very going up this year, so I have Tyler Warren as one of your potential keepers in the 8th. And then I have 2 other players. One, I wasn't sure if you drafted him or picked him up or got him from a trade. It was Quinshon Judkins. I can't remember if
I did pick him up off of the waiver wire.
So it would have been a 6th round pick. Okay.
Yes.
So scratch that one out. The other one then is the main one that I think is your best value, which is James Cook. In the 4th round, I'm like, he is going near the end of the 1st, early 2nd. Like, he was best back in the league last year, or led in touchdowns and all that stuff. So I'm like, just because they got DJ Moore in Buffalo doesn't mean that, like, they're going to stay away from running the football. So I'm like, the offense is still going to be the same, Josh Allen and him. So I think James Cook for you is the best value. And then I would say Tyler Warren.
So we're super close, actually. So I'll be fully transparent. I'm actually between 4 players right now. 100% was Luther Burden when I thought it was a 12th. I was like, Luther Burden, the 12th.
Yeah, we talked about it.
I'm taking it. And then I went through and I saw I had dropped him, and I said, okay, can't keep him in the 12th. He's a 6th. So moved on from that. But there are 3 other players or 4 other players I'm still looking at. I am leaning James Cook 100%. However, I did like Tyler Warren in the 8th, great value. Ken Walker in the 5th was another one I was thinking about.
Yeah, that one too.
And the reason I'm stuck right now is Ken Walker and in the 5th or James Cook in the 4th. There is for me a gap, right? Like I see James Cook as tier 1.
Yep.
And I see Ken Walker as tier 2, maybe tier 2.5. Right.
Yes.
In that mess with like the Derrick Henrys, the Saquons, that he's there. Where I don't see James, like I see it as like Christian McCaffrey, James Cook, and Chase Brown in that little pool. So I am leaning James Cook. The only other player I have debated is Puka in the 2nd.
Yeah.
But I don't love keeping 1st and 2nd round picks unless I feel like I'm going to have a massive advantage. And I don't feel like I get that because every mock I've done from that spot that I'm picking at makes my life really hard. I have to take James Cook there because if I don't take a running back in that spot, I'm looking at a massive drop off in running backs.
Yeah.
So I think I am leaning the Ken Walker, James Cook. I just have to figure out what value I like more.
For sure.
I like the other thing. This is just like behind my thinking. I like Ken Walker because I keep Ken Walker in the 5th. 6 picks happen, and then I get to pick again. Where James Cook, I pick in the 3rd, and then I don't pick again. So there's 28, 29 players come off the board before I get to pick again. So whatever happens in the 3rd, I just sit there for a while. And last year when that happened with Puka, it does make the draft hard to stay engaged. And when I become unengaged, it's hard to get back into a swing. So not sure we are on the same page. Just I have a lot of players I've been kind of debating because a lot of the trades I made last season were to figure out keepers for this season.
Sure. No, I agree. Like I like both because like with Ken Walker especially, like he's always been behind Charbonnet.
Right.
Like, well, it's him and Charbonnet have always split time. So now that he doesn't really have anybody in Kansas City, and like I'm pretty sure they're going to run the ball a lot to make sure that Mahomes doesn't get hurt again because he's still coming off his ACL. So
yeah, I still think Ken Walker like has the potential to be. You're drafting him as a top 10 running back because he has the potential to be running back 1.
Yes.
But if I had to take a bet, I'm always going to bet on the player who's done it and consistently done it. Ken Walker has shown he does have an injury history, which is the only reason I'm hesitant on taking him or keeping him in the 5th is purely because it's hard to count on him, right? Like if I take him as my running back 2, it's different than if he's my running back 1. All right. Next is JJ. So I only have one for JJ. I just have Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers in the 9th, number 1 tight end off of everybody's board. Kirk Cousins coming in, Fernando Mendoza. It does not matter if JJ thinks he's going to be great this year. You keep this dude for the next 3 years, right? You keep him this year for the 9th, next year for the 7th, year after that for the 5th, and then you keep him in the 3rd, and now he's back up to value, right?
Yep.
I feel like it feels like a no-brainer. I didn't write anybody else down, so I'll kick it off to you.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. I'm pretty sure it's Brock Bowers. Like he's the number 1 tight end, so why would you not keep him at that value?
Right.
The other player was, and I think we discussed this prior to recording. I had Burrow, but I think he's a 6th round pick instead of where I have him as the 13th.
Yes, because he got dropped and then picked up. Yep.
Yeah, and then the other player that I had talked to you about prior was, because I'm not sure it was ADP, but just because how bad San Francisco's wide receiver core is, Deebo Samuels, he's got chemistry with Brock Purdy. I'm like 8th round pick. I'm like, somebody's got to catch the football there. I'm like, why not?
Yeah, but and that's why I think it's just Brock Bowers, right? Deebo in the 8th for a receiver, you're like, I hope that's my wide receiver 3, or Brock Bowers, who you're like, that dude will outscore Deebo Samuels all day, every day.
Yeah, because I'm looking at JJ's roster right now on my screen, and I'm like, he's got great players, but like the value isn't where I would like it. So
I actually think these last 3 teams had. I think there's a reason they ended up where they ended up. They all have great keeper values because they drafted well.
Yeah.
So next, I'll kick it back to you. Here was Jacob. So Jacoby here. Jacob had a ton of value, and I actually am a little split on who he should keep and who I think he'll keep. So I'd love to get your opinion here.
Yeah, so I have 3 players for him just for value purposes because Jacob always drafts great. Like he
Jacob never lets value.
He never ever lets value like get passed up. So he's always.
I thought him not being in town would actually give us an advantage. I think it just made it worse.
It just made it worse because
he couldn't talk smack to him.
Yeah, because like he could think, nobody would distract him. So yeah, what I have for him is George Pickens in the 5th.
Okay. Yep.
I think it's great value there, just because Pickens had a great year last year. I know CD's there, but like Dallas is gonna have a good offense this year again. Pickens is gonna be getting a lot of targets. I think that's a great value pick.
And he's going in the 2nd. End of 2nd, early 3rd,
end of 2nd,
5th round,
get him in the 5th round. I have Devonta Smith just as in there. He's not AJ Brown. He's more of a possession receiver, but still like PPR. Like you have him as your wide receiver too. And then this one was I kind of looked at his roster and I was like, maybe I don't know where he's going, but like just the team that he's on, I think he'll get good value is David Montgomery. I'm like, he's probably going to be the lead horse. I know Woody Marks is there in Houston, but I'm like, David Montgomery's going to get the work too. Like, he's put in work even when Jahmyr Gibbs was getting up most of the carries last year. So those were my 3 for him.
I actually am surprised. I really thought you'd say this name. So I have George Pickens in the 5th, but I think I honestly thought Jacob would keep Jonathan Taylor in the 3rd.
I thought about that as well, but I was like, maybe that's a little too obvious. So I wanted to kind of think outside the box with Jacob, because again, Jacob has.
I know his keeper is always like he takes one of the late guys. Like last year, he kept James Conner in like the 7th or something. Like
yeah, like I wanted to think out. Like I said, I want to try to think how I know that person drafts, and that Jacob like comes out of nowhere with his keepers. So I'm like, let me go with something different with him.
So I did have George Pickens in the 5th. I had Jonathan Taylor in the 3rd. I felt like those were the 2 most obvious picks. It's hard to say. Like the picks you said are not wrong either. It's hard to say where he's going to go. I just felt like Jonathan Taylor kind of carried his team. I did hear a fun stat I thought was great, by the way, and I just kind of want to share about Jonathan Taylor. In games where Jonathan Taylor has won in the last 2 years, he averages 30 fantasy points per game. In the games he's lost, in the games they lose, he averages 10. So it really comes down to how good do you think Indianapolis is going to be? Because he started the season, right? They were 7-0, I think, or 6-0, and Jonathan Taylor was killing it. And then they went on that losing streak after they lost Daniel Jones. And Jonathan Taylor kind of fell off, but in every win, he's scoring like 30 points. I'm like, damn. That's crazy.
That's why he got his extension. I'm like, the offense is him.
All right. So last up is Aaron. Aaron, I feel like, has one really obvious choice, and it's probably who I'd keep, but he still had value in other places. I have 3 for Aaron. I'm hoping we have 2 others that are different, because I don't like my other 2. I think I just picked them to have 2, but they could happen. I have Chase Brown in the 9th. He kept him last year in the 11th. Chase Brown is going in he's that same player, like I said, for me, it's CMC, Chase Brown, and James Cook. I think they're just in a tier by themselves. Like you have Bijan, you have Jahmyr, and then you have this tier of running backs. Like it's the A tier of running backs. The running backs you still want on your team. They're just maybe not as good as those other guys. Then I had Travis Etienne or Travis Etienne, just so we're all aware that that's what he's going by now. And I think on the sticker, that's what it says. And then Cam Scadaboo. So Travis Etienne I don't actually, Travis Etienne or Etienne is in the 6th. Cam Scadaboo is in the 9th. I still think you keep Chase Brown. It's the same value, but Chase Brown was the player I had, and then those other 2 were just players I had thrown in.
For me, it's 2 of them are the same. So I would wholly 100% agree with you. Chase Brown is the best one. And then Travis Etienne, I thought, because I didn't know he was a 6th, because I have him listed here as a 10th. But if he was a drop, then it makes sense.
He might have been a 10th, and I might have written it down wrong. I couldn't read my handwriting on that one, so it's very likely it's a 10th.
Yeah, because that's why I was like, that's a great value for starting running back in New Orleans. So him, and then for me, I just threw this in here just because who knows? He was the best receiver last year. I put JSN in the 2nd round. If you want him, you want him.
That's a great call. Yeah. I didn't even think about JSN because I saw him in the 2nd, and I kind of skip over 1st and 2nd round.
I know Aaron's. I know he's drafting last, but at the same time, it's like you have to take into account like the players that are kept are going to shift people up. So like if you want JSN, like you're going to have to take him a little bit sooner.
Right. Well, if you're right, 100%. I think the reason you keep Chase though is so that you have your RB1, and then in that swing pick right there, you can take a running back and a receiver or 2 receivers, and you're not in the spot where you're like, oh my God, I don't have anything.
Yeah. That's why I wanted to do 3 players, because I'm like, Chase Brown should be the pick, but if you're thinking
you never know,
think outside the box, you never know. You'd be like, well, you know what? I believe in JSN again this year, and that's who I want because I love him. So that's why we have this that's why we're having this conversation, to give people options.
Honestly, I love Puka every year, but ever since he's been on my team, I haven't won a championship. I've made the playoffs once. I'm like, maybe Puka's the curse.
Yeah, he's your Alshon Jeffries. Yeah.
He's much better than Alshon Jeffrey.
Yeah, I know.
That dude is the worst, and I might need to just change my name to the Alshon Jeffries. That's for another day.
Well, I mean, if you do, so I think since you and Brandon do this every year, I think
I'm not trading with Brandon ever again.
No, I don't want to hear that. When you guys do your trade on week 4 or 5, I think in agreement with this trade, you guys should both change your names because that's why you got cursed.
No, what I need to do is this year when I make the trade with Brandon, I need to text you and be like, "Who's winning this trade?" And if you say me, I need to throw in something else so that I lose this trade so that I can win this trade.
Well, then if you text me that's fine. But I'm going to ask you, have you thought about your new team name? Because it's not going to work.
I'm not trading team names anymore. If Brandon's got his team name, I'm not trading for that player. Honestly, I'm just not going to trade with Brandon because it has not worked out for me. Every year I hear the same thing. Oh, Steven just won the JJ literally texted me after I made that trade for Lamar Jackson. He's like, "You just won the whole league." And then I proceeded to go from 4-1 to 5-11. Like 5-9. I finished the season 5-9. I was like, "Oh my God, I won one more game and lost."
Yeah, no,
7.
and you picked up other quarterbacks to start.
Well, because Lamar went down, remember?
Yeah, I know.
It's just like I was like, "Oh, I should have just kept Drake." I think I had Drake May and Bo Nix or something. I was like, "What an idiot!"
No, I did not think you were an idiot for dropping Drake May. I approved that you dropped Drake May because that means I could have picked up. I picked up Drake May.
I went through all the drops. I did the most like impatient thing last season. I went through all of my drops. I dropped Colston Loveland. I dropped Kyle Pitts. I dropped Drake May. I dropped Bo Nix. I dropped so many players that if I would have just hung on to them, probably would have won way more weeks.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, why don't you try this year? See what happens. Just you lose a game, just say I'm dropping this.
It's funny because every other league I'm so patient with all these players, but this league I'm like, "Oh, I got to win now," and I'm like, "Oh, why do I do this to myself?" I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I have not been as prepared as I would like to have been, so we'll see how this season goes. Maybe I just need to prepare less. Who knows? So, all right, guys, that is it. We are near an hour. I apologize. I hope you enjoy this episode.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And it was fun. We will be back when keepers are submitted. So that week, maybe the week before the draft, and then we will do a draft recap on draft day, and I'll post that and all that other fun stuff. But hope you guys are enjoying these. Thank you all for watching.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
And we will see you soon. Bye.
Bye guys.